Welcome to Black and White Recovery. Your hosts have been associated with recovery programs for over 50 years. This show is not associated or related to any 12-step program. The advice is strictly to be taken as advice, or it may be used for drinking games. Always consult with your sponsor, attorney, doctor, or anyone with more common sense other than Lee.
Hi everyone, welcome to Black and White Recovery. My name is Lee. I'm joined by Ian. Don't call me Ian. Do you in Arizona? Ian, of course, is in Arizona. Together, we have something. Did we do the math on this? 40, 50 years, something insanely large number.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank.
All right, so the goal of this show is to create Ian as a guru because he just needs a nickname and wants to be a guru. I'm pushing for Jesus of Suburbia.
Quite amusing, I might add.
But I like the concept of doing a show where I can basically complain about AA, and you're kind of pro AA. Like, you live the lifestyle, right? You're still in it. You still go to meetings. You're still doing the donuts. You're living the lifestyle.
I'm pro whatever works.
Yeah. You know, that's determined. That is literally...
Does that include practicing the 13th step?
Over the election results,
no,
I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, see, when you're being recorded, you've totally gone away from where it's Starbucks already.
People are checking out. They don't want to see the future.
All right.
I'm calling you out. I know for a fact I'm calling you out.
Well, this show is loosely based on the concept of recovery.
Because of dating
Ian
a
and
newcomer.
I both
now,
have,
I know some people say, well, the 13th step isn't dating a newcomer.
50 years.
To be honest with you, I'd rather be part of someone's
Ian believes
bottom
that
than their
you should
recovery.
go to a meeting, you should get a sponsor,
Okay.
and you should work
have you not, in your
My
time
philosophy is
as a
you're going to
sponsor,
relapse
encountered
anyway,
an individual
so why put that much effort into it,
who
get
was
it over with.
already dating a girl or planning to date a girl anyway within his first 90 days?
You know what? People are so fucking determined to kill themselves when they
At
relapse.
20 days sober,
Like,
he decided
if I
to
relapse
get
now,
engaged.
I
Wow.
believe that I have
And did you
enough
utter the-
intelligence
Dating her for a long time.
that I could do
he
it
was
in a
filed
fairly
before
safe
that, went out for
environment
about
where
9
it
months.
would
And
not
she had like 7 years. And
cost
Oh,
me
she's-
everything.
I guess
Like, I
as
would
a
put that
condition
much
of
rational
marriage
thought, like put myself
was
on
him
an
getting
island,
sober.
put myself
And
in
I,
a
to
padded
myself, I
room,
was engaged in 6 months
chain
too. I
myself
thought
up in a
I
hotel
was
room
going to
in
prison
Vegas.
for the rest of my life. I just want someone to visit me on Sundays.
I just
Okay.
what I
Have you
believe when
uttered
it
the
comes
now
to
famous
relapse,
line that all sponsors have said to sponsees?
what I
Hey,
believe when it comes
go
to
ahead,
relapse, it is
chase
people
her
who just simply do not
instead
want
of
to.
chasing alcohol. It'll give you something to
That is
obsess
it.
over.
The reason you
Or roughly to that effect.
I'm not worried but I've never told anybody
using and dying. I'm worried about using and living.
immediately that they shouldn't.
Well,
date,
using and living, I
because
mean,
that if
I don't
somebody
think
would
my
have told me
higher
that when I
power
was new, I
let
would
me
have walked out.
go
I
quietly
walked
into the night.
for once
I think,
because somebody
it's
told me to
gonna have me suffer
put
for
down
it.
my leathers and get a haircut.
Well, that's the point of today's show.
I mean,
Today's show, I was going to
first of
do
all,
step 1. And trust me, I
my
got
biggest
step
problem
1
with
up
the
on the
program
screen. I was
is
going to do it 12 and 12
statistically,
and actually
nobody stays
try to appreciate the program
And
that
I'm
you
not sure
love
that I
that
would
I don't.
be
And for
associated
those
with a
wondering,
program
he would be the white
where
side of
it
the
has
black
a
and white.
failure
And I am definitely the
that
black
would get
side
you
of the...
thrown out of a remedial
hate
English class.
all of the... To me, the program, for the most part, is a great idea. However, it's still made up of individuals who feel that the only real requirement is for them not to drink or use. Their lifestyles are, how do I put
And I
it,
mean, when
a
I mean
wee tad
fix it, like, I'm
shamblish.
even willing to be fair
Yes.
about this.
Yes,
Like, if you
I
just slip or drink or
I
have a
see
glass
that.
of wine or lose
I
your
see
shit and
the,
still keep your shit together
the
and come back
hypocrites.
to a
I
meeting
try and lead
and
by
still work the
example. I
principles.
mean, I'm not
Here's
by
my
any
first
stretch of
problem.
the imagination.
in
I mean,
general.
I eat when
Oh,
I'm
by
not
the way,
hungry.
we're talking about
I
the
gamble
fourth step
before
today.
all my
We'll get
bills
to
are
it.
paid. I shop when I don't need anything, and if
Talking
I'm not
about
shopping,
resentments.
gambling, or
We
eating,
are talking about
I'm usually
resentments,
obsessing
I
about
guess,
sex.
in a certain
So,
Right.
right. In a certain way.
Whatever
What
drove me
my
to alcohol and
issue
drugs
in
is
general
driving me towards other self-destructive
is that
behavior.
we are
Correct.
obsessed.
And as
in
I
the
recently
12-step
just quit
programs, which
vaping, which got me off of cigars, which got
like,
me off of
legitimately,
smoking,
we are legitimately
you know, the progressive
obsessed.
illness. Now
You are
I'm
measured by the length of time.
you know, it's like one progression
the
after
length
the
of
other.
quality.
And I have come to the conclusion that there should be a step 0. I want to make
Which
an
is silly.
amendment
which
to the
is,
12
it-
steps.
It's beyond silly. I've met
Why
people,
not? That's pretty black and white,
I'd love
isn't
to
it?
have my
Step
Pete Cloud
zero,
back where the
Bert.
world
Step
doesn't shit
0.
on
Well,
you
hey,
and
look,
there
the
aren't
DC
bills
Universe, when
and
they redid
you
their
get to live
their
in a
comic
place
books,
that,
they
you know,
started with 0.
I loved my time
It is a
at
number.
the hospital.
So
Like,
why
that
is there
was
not
the
a
best
step
time
0?
ever.
Yeah. I enjoyed my
because
first
I think the
5
step
years.
zero is
I
you're
could
just
blame it
standing
on my
still
music.
exactly
Right.
where you've been.
The
Well, it is,
consequence of
and
my-
trust me, it'll be a 0 step when you see it.
consequence
I
of my
think the
music.
13th
What's the
step
term?
should be
The sun's
step
gonna
0.
come up tomorrow, so
Okay.
And I'm going to make my
at
argument.
some point it can't
All
be
right.
I
about
did, you did, pretty much everyone you and I both know did.
Or-
We all obsessed over women in our
I
first
always
90
wonder
days.
this, and I pose this to
Oh,
all
yeah.
of you listening, and I'll pose
Well-
it to you. At what
Have you
point did
met
you
somebody
realize
who
it
is
wasn't everybody
saintier
else
than
fucking
thou
you
that did
over,
not
it was
chase
yourself
the
fucking
almighty
yourself?
Jine in their first 90 days?
You know what? I realized
Yeah,
that
a few married
about a
guys
year
stay
before
trying
I
to stay
actually-
married.
Okay.
So that was your clarity.
Again, the minority versus the majority.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
well,
by
I
majority,
looked at it that I was
you're
putting
either
myself
chasing your sex or the same sex or whatever sex turns you
because I
on.
like to-
Let your freak
to
flag
take
fly.
retribution. I'd like
That's the
to,
one thing I agree with AA.
make vengeful acts. of
Let your
revenge.
freak flag fly right out of the
Vengeful
gate.
acts of
I say
revenge.
it should be
Are
step
there any
0.
other kind of vengeful? You
And
still
that
have
is came to
vengeful acts of
believe that
revenge.
sex was greater
I do.
than
I do.
drugs and alcohol.
I do. I'm
Okay.
about to. Yeah, I'm a.
And
I'm
I
in the
think it should be
process of doing
addressed
it now,
before
so
you
today's
should
a
even
good
try
day
the
to
12
talk about
steps.
divorce.
Okay, well, let's... Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 4 Step with people you probably shouldn't be listening to.
I love the episode title. I didn't want to give you any time to think about
All
it.
right, so are we using like a basic format of how this works with
Yeah,
the
I mean,
breakdowns
that's
of
okay.
each
It
one and the
works.
principles
I mean,
and
it's
like the AA
I don't
classic
know if I
good book
agree.
resentment
I mean,
inventory
like I say,
example from
you
hell?
know, and like you said earlier,
Well, you can do that.
I'd rather
one.
have someone
I
obsessing
Are
about
you-
sex
you're a
rather than
four-column guy.
obsessing about
I like
coke
the
or heroin or alcohol.
Yeah,
or
no, the
whatever
four-
the
the
thing
four
is.
col-
Fill in the
But
resentment,
isn't it
how
binary?
it
Well, and
affected you.
ultimately,
Right.
what does step
Four
0
columns.
become?
You know,
Don't we
where
just
was the
ultimately
fear,
obsess
you know,
about
where-
anything?
They didn't pay you back.
Period?
All right, for those of you listening who are
Yes.
still avoiding your 4-step, here's what you want to do.
Isn't
Get a
that
big,
isn't
giant
that
blank piece of
ultimately
paper.
the secret
It'll help
of
you fill it out.
recovery? It is an
You want to have 4
obsession.
columns.
And I don't want to
Refer
say the
this
whole
column
12
to
and
the
12
left of
obsession
your
and the
4
mind
columns.
disease of the.
You want to
I'm,
write the
no,
words,
I hate
am
that.
resentful
First of all,
at,
anytime
and the word-
you,
and
if
then
I
a question
catch
mark.
you saying
In
during
the
the course
second
of the
column,
recording of these
the
shows,
cause
I will
or
personally
why
drive
we
to
were
Arizona
angry.
and kill one of your sponsees
The third
if I hear an
column
AA
is the
slogan-y
effects
term
that
dropped on me.
really is
I'm
that-
just saying
that's
it.
my.
Just saying it. I'm that close
But
to the edge on the
third column
topic.
is affect
Just saying
my,
it.
question mark. And the
I will
fourth
go to a
column
meeting
is
and I will kill a
where
newcomer.
had
I'm
you
saying it
been, right?
publicly on the air. They will be able to
Dishonest,
find me and arrest me.
self-seeking,
I'm
or
saying it.
frightened. Mine
Nice.
had, my sponsor had sloth. And,
That
like,
just
he had
ensures
all of
that
them.
you drop them.
Like
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
if you
in
need to
this
go
step
that
0,
far. I think selfish,
no,
dishonest,
which would be-
self-seeking, or frightened.
We
whatever.
obsess.
4 horses, the apocalypse.
Right.
Right? This would be
Okay,
the true
so let's talk
amendment
about
to the
your
12
vengeance.
steps.
Why are you resentful?
We obsess.
at
And the number one
in your
obsession
first column?
Hired a guy
by
who
all
did a
is the
bad
quest
job.
for sex.
You hired a guy who did a bad job.
Unless there's a better one I'm
That's
unaware
the
of.
why. I'm not going to use his name because
The quest for
I
sex.
don't look good in the court.
No, I understand.
Yes.
Okay,
In your
you
first
hired
90 days,
Bob
what is the greatest obsession
a
you have
job.
Right.
outside of thinking
The
you need to drink or
cause
use
or
again? And
why
that's
we
just.
were angry.
I don't want to get into the semantics, but you and I both know it's just training your
because
brain
he
to
did a
not
bad
do it
job
again.
That wound up causing me more problems.
Right.
and that affects my.
Right. I like the quest for sex.
Fear of economic
Okay. I mean, you have to remember the first
Okay.
meeting that I started
So,
was,
and in the fourth column, it
we
affected
called
your
it,
economic,
adults
your
only.
economics and your insecurity.
and it was
And
for
so we're
either
gonna
you had
add
to
for
be
the
a
fourth
drug
column,
dealer,
let me go out on a
pimp,
limb,
stripper, escort, porn
Correct.
star,
Okay.
or musician.
How do you feel? You feel better? Like
Okay.
less likely you're going to
And,
punch
you
him?
know, after the speaker meeting,
No.
we'd have a wet T-shirt
So,
contest
what you're
and a
saying is
dance
the fourth step
afterwards.
is
And
no.
after about 6 weeks, somebody from New York came in and
Well,
said,
Okay.
no wet T-shirt contest.
do we want to create a
Really?
fears list?
Is that
at this
for real?
point?
Someone from corporate actually said no?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was
So
shocked.
you only
I
make
was-
your
I
people
was-
do.
and
You know what? I'm
it was
really
a shame,
fearful.
too, because
I'm
we were doing
fearful
it to
of
raise
what
money to save
That's
Okay.
a meeting hall.
because that gets me.
And,
So how far do you take your guys?
yeah,
on
I mean, we
the
were able to
four-step
save the meeting
format,
hall through
right?
other means,
So
but
you
it would
do
have been
the
a
four
lot
columns
easier.
just like this, right?
Okay.
Correct.
Do
You know,
you make
just
them
keeping
make a
that meeting
fears
going. It
list
was
as
the
well?
biggest speaker meeting in the valley. In
Well,
less
we
than a month.
talk about.
I don't want to say, I don't want to be a
Talk about
hypocrite within
resentment,
this and
then we
start
talk
receiving
about
emails. And
sexual
by the way, it's
inventory,
black, the word
and
black,
then we talk
the word
about-
white,
Do you do
the word
sex
recovery
inventories
at
too?
Gmail. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
You do
Go ahead and
use
send
pretty much the main
Ian
one, right?
thoughtful
And then you do
messages.
a-
I will forward them to him, and we will read them on the air. Black, white. You can call me an asshole. I know I
Okay,
am.
so I
I've
am
scared out
resentful
newcomers.
at
It's
the program,
nothing new.
the
I can't go to meetings anymore because I can't stand sniveling, whiny. What's the word? Not women, because women can do that in my book. Mitches, right? Man bitches, right? Mitches. Cannot stand snivelly, whiny Mitches.
It affects my serenity.
guys
For
who are,
sure.
you don't know, you
Well,
don't know
everything
my,
affects
you know
it.
what? Get a job, even at Walmart.
And,
Stop
where
chasing after
had
the almighty
we been,
giant,
I would say
and
I'm
get over the fact
frightened,
that you're not going to
but
be able
I'm
to drink or
really
use for the
not.
rest of your life,
I'm
and just
probably,
start to accept it.
You know, anger
That's
doesn't
my
make the
opinion.
list. I mean,
And for most of
really,
you
I
listening
guess that's
who are
under
new,
frightened, but
this isn't the glowy, happy part of the show.
I'm like, I could do a
Because
whole
yeah,
full
I do
step
have
on
23
on
years, but
12
here I'm
step
going to tell you the
program.
truth. If
Like,
you're
I could
listening
do
to the
this
show,
indefinitely
statistically,
about
you're probably going to relapse.
AACA,
Hate to be the guy to tell
I'm
you that.
resentful at
Yep.
my first
Yep.
NA
19
meeting.
out of 20
Because
of us
why
do.
It made me angry. Because
I
met a
have
bunch
never
of
done it.
assholes.
And that makes
How
me
did
a
that
bigger
affect me?
asshole
It
on the
almost
topic.
caused me my
Now
sobriety
I
early
am
on. Why?
a pious.
Because I was frightened I
teetotaling
would wind up just
asshole.
like these fucking assholes.
In fact,
I am resentful at
I will
CA
openly
in the
admit
San
that
Gabriel- in the San
I will
Gabriel
obsess
Pomona
on
Valley.
anything, but I
Where they
believe in
caused
three
me
things.
anger because they are all a
Honesty
bunch of
above all
self-centered,
honesty.
self-seeking assholes.
Don't drink,
How does that
don't
affect
use. That's it.
me? That affects my
The rest of it is cake.
serenity once
That's kinda
again.
where I
Why?
have
Because
go to
honestly, while I
Okay.
was trying to do things that were beneficial
But
and
when have you?
positive,
Okay, let's get
people
back
were
to our topic
self-seeking
of step
and
zero.
self-serving and
When have
quite
you
selfish.
ever heard somebody
And
be
it is
really
apparent to me that most
like?
people in
Admittedly,
CA
there's
in
always one
general
guy who's too
care
honest that
more
makes
about
everybody
the size of
uncomfortable
their
at a meeting.
dick
But outside of that
and
one
therefore
guy, let's say you
blowing
got
each other
20
when they
shares
have
in a
time
meeting,
than
right?
they are
On
about the
average,
newcomer in
you
this
got to
valley.
tolerate and sit
That's my
through.
humble
And
opinion.
you and I are both old school. For those of
How
you
was my
wondering what that
four-step?
means,
Was
that
it
means
good?
you have to listen to everybody talk
Did I get the
and
anger
share
off
about
my
things that are
chest?
not related to recovery,
program.
that are
You're
basically
pretty good.
sniveling,
Me,
whiny.
I'm always
My life
on top of
sucks.
the
It's
list.
Yeah,
over.
well, look,
I don't have the money to pay
I'm
my
resentful
ex-wife. I
at
can't
me.
see my kid.
Why am I angry?
They're turning
I'm
off my
angry at me
power
because I'm always
bullshit
angry.
drama.
How does
and
that
then be
affect
the
me?
guy
It
after
affects
every one,
me
all 19 of
and
those people
everyone
share all their
around
basic
me.
crap. You have to
Why?
come in and
Because
go,
I'm frightened
okay,
I
let's
will
talk
do something
recovery and
wrong.
why it's
I don't
wonderful,
have a
and let me
problem
tell you
doing
how
a
it worked for
four-step.
me.
I'm brutally
Right?
honest about
That's the
myself.
rules you were taught, correct?
I'm resentful at me
Correct.
once again.
All
Why
right.
am I angry?
I hate that rule, by the way.
And that's
Yeah.
the key.
I would like
The
to
key
be
is
able
putting
to do-
brutally honest.
I would like to do Mystery
About
Science
yourself.
Theater
Here's
Here's
3000.
one that you
I want
know
to
that
comment
maybe don't know.
while they're
Yeah,
actually doing their
I'm
talk.
resentful at me.
Well,
Why?
see, here in Phoenix,
Because
they
I
have
put
feedback
myself in
meetings.
harm's way.
I see.
with
I like that.
actual
I like crosstalk.
attention. What does that affect?
They have panel
I
meetings.
guess my
and they have
serenity and my
meetings where you're
personal
allowed to
health.
crosstalk.
Why?
I love going to
Because I'm
crosstalk
selfish
meetings
and
just call them
self-seeking.
bullshit.
I desire
And that's my
attention
point.
above all
How,
others.
like, the one guy out of 20
I
who
might
was
even
like
be a
number
narcissist.
3 or 4 in the
Are there
rotation
pills for
does
that?
some gut-wrenching, painful, I'm obsessed over fill in the blank, and it's usually a woman or a guy, it doesn't matter. Guys obsess over
I guess
women and women
wait,
obsess
you
over
said
guys,
that,
which
right?
to me
I don't know.
is crazy.
I don't know. You're a narcissist.
And
do you
then
want
it's
to be
buried
corrected
by
as being
15
a
other people
self-centered
who
kind
can't
of
pay their power
narcissistic
bills
guy
or
like
see their
you
kids.
or me?
Because they're deadbeats, right?
Well, it
Okay,
doesn't-
sorry.
I'm a firm
Egocentric is
believer
probably
that
the clever way to
We
say
don't-
it.
wouldn't be-
The two biggest things
The what?
that get us on the path to picking
wouldn't
up
be
are
even
romance.
doing this podcast if we weren't.
No,
I
I
completely
completely agree. But I
So
think
how
that-
long were you
okay,
in recovery
I'm
before
resentful
you
at this
fell into
podcast.
your first
Why did it
relationship?
make me angry? The fact that I have to do
Well, I
it.
was in
Why?
one.
Why? What does it affect?
So,
It affects my
you know,
serenity.
I had a
Truthfully,
I had
I'd like to be a
little
calm guy.
stint
I'd like to be
down
a
in
Zen
Florence,
Buddha.
Arizona. The
Yeah, I would say that this
State
podcast
of
is selfish
Arizona
and
Department of
self-seeking. No
Corrections.
doubt about it.
Who were helping
But
you
I also
clear up the
believe
wreckage of your past?
that-
well,
I
actually,
wouldn't
it was
say
probably the
selfish or
best thing
self-seeking,
for
I
me
would say
because
Okay.
there was
But
somebody
do
out
you
there keeping my
believe
name
that there
on the
are
streets,
like-minded
not
people
doing,
that share these feelings and
doing
that it
stuff
is
that I
somehow
didn't even
beneficial
think
to
of.
those individuals?
Oh, I
Yeah.
think it's beneficial to
It
anybody
was
who listens.
probably
It's
the
only
best
reason why
place
I'm
for me
doing
to go for a couple
Plus,
months, and then I went to
You do
Sierra
wait.
Tucson, and
Do
I
you
didn't
like to
really get
pontificate?
out into the rooms till I was almost 90
Sure.
days.
Is there an iron court? Do you hold
Did
iron
you have
court
sex
in
in the
Arizona?
first 90 days, or did you obsess
No.
about sex
No,
on the 91st
you know
day?
what? I gave
Well,
up
when
my
I was in
right to
jail, I
judge
did not
yourself.
obsess about sex.
That's
Why
good.
do I find
That's a
that
good
hard to
place
believe?
not
You were
to.
about to beat
Right,
up Bob
right.
the
And
gardener.
that's probably why they let me out. I told the judge, I
But
go,
that
some of
nothing
these
to
guys
do
are
with
starting to look
program.
good.
That
And they
was,
said, okay,
you know,
you can go to
hire an
treatment. I
attorney.
said, okay,
expect
thank
him
you.
to do it.
All right.
And
Not such
and
big
but
deal.
once I was
Okay,
in
so I've
treatment,
created my
they had
resentment
rules
list.
9 and 10 pen right there
Ball,
saying no having sexual relations
so
with
he
any of
dropped
the
the
other
ball to try
clients,
and get the
and no
$15,000.
sexual relations,
And
with yourself,
everybody
because
that
it
does
might
that
block
needs an answer.
something.
No,
I said,
they
listen, I
don't.
just got out of jail. I ain't signing
Because that
off
falls
on
under
this.
institutions.
Yeah, you got to
Like, that's on the
investigate
list
a
here,
little bit.
right?
A rehab romance? Absolutely.
Yeah, so did I.
We definitely have an institutions
I went to
list
Los
that is
Encinas,
definitely in
for those
play
wondering,
here.
and I'll drop names. Dr.
And
Drew
so
was
this
my
guy's
doctor.
actually going to wind up on your people we
Yeah,